In a small village, nestled amongst rolling hills, there was a school. It wasn't like the schools we know today. Learning was serious business. The teachers were strict. One particular student lived in fear of his teacher's punishments. He dreaded the sting of the ruler on his hand. He knew his lesson wasn't perfect. This time he was sure the punishment would be harsh. The student couldn't bear the thought. His heart pounded in his chest. He knew he had to escape. He looked around the classroom. Other students diligently worked on their lessons. They seemed unfazed by the looming threat of the teacher's ruler. But this student felt only terror. He had to get out. He saw his chance when the teacher stepped out. Quiet as a mouse, he crept out of the classroom. He ran faster than he ever had. The school was soon far behind him. He found himself in the bustling marketplace. It was a completely different world. Bright colors and exciting smells filled the air. Merchants called out their wares. Exotic spices filled his nostrils. Sweet treats beckoned him from every corner. For the first time that day, the student felt a smile creep onto his face. He was free. The fear that had been dogging his steps seemed to vanish in the market's lively atmosphere. The boy and guide him back to the path of learning. But he knew that force wouldn't work. He had to reach the boy's heart. Finally, the teacher found his student. The boy was huddled in a corner, his fear returning. He knew he couldn't outrun his teacher forever. The teacher approached him, not with anger, but with understanding. He sat down beside the boy and spoke in a gentle voice. He spoke of learning, not as a punishment, but as a journey. Then, in a gesture that shocked the boy, the teacher pulled out his ruler. But instead of bringing it down on the boy's hand, he threw it into a nearby brazier. The flames consumed the ruler, turning it to ash. The teacher explained that true learning didn't come from fear, but from love and encouragement. The student, his eyes wide with wonder, returned to the school with his teacher. He no longer feared the sting of the ruler. He had learned a valuable lesson that day. He learned that true education nurtured the mind and spirit. It wasn't about fear and punishment. It was about growth and discovery. This story, though centuries old, still holds true today. It reminds us that education should be a source of joy, not fear. It highlights the importance of empathy and understanding in the learning process. Just like Rumi's teacher, educators today should strive to create a nurturing environment where students can thrive.